AEW has reportedly distributed over 21,650 tickets for All In Texas this weekend, with 3 days to go until AEW's biggest pay-per-view of the year. AEW President and CEO Tony Khan opens up on rumors that Britt Baker could be set to be released from AEW. TNA Wrestling reportedly is seeking a media rights deal to allow them to go live 52 weeks a year with TNA Impact. Raw hits record low numbers on Netflix for last week's episode. It's not a good start when it comes to the Real American Freestyle event for Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan in terms of ticket sales. Lillian Garcia will be the ring announcer for WWE Evolution this Sunday. Nikki Bella opens up on just how long her WWE comeback is going to be for. Shaina Baszler may have already returned to WWE after being released recently by the company. We've got the ratings for Friday's episode of Smackdown, an update on if there are any future AEW video games in the pipeline. Adam Cole reflects on his TNT Championship reign thus far. Cody Rhodes drops a cryptic tweet that has led to some people questioning his pro wrestling future. And longtime veteran announcer Scott Stanford leaves WWE. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrest News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the latest numbers and details and news surrounding AEW All In Texas. Let's begin with the amount of tickets distributed for the show at Globe Life Field this coming Saturday. Now, it looks like as we get closer and closer to AEW All In Texas in Arlington, Texas, that more tickets are being distributed and sold by the day. According to the latest count from WrestleTix, it has been reported that 21,650 tickets have been distributed for AEW All In Texas at Globe Life Field with 3 days to go. Now, it looks like there is still 2,700 tickets remaining, but more sections are being opened up all the time. It looks like close to 1,000 tickets have been distributed in just the last 24 hours alone, as AEW looks to be making history with their first ever stadium show in North America. AEW President Tony Khan recently laid out a detailed and optimistic overview of the company's business performance in 2025, pointing to significant growth in television viewership, the success of a new streaming deal, and record-breaking ticket sales for the upcoming All In Texas event. He highlighted the success of AEW's weekly television programs during a recent interview on The Rich Eisen Show, which have seen their ratings grow for 2 consecutive quarters. He said, quote, "We just got the Q2 numbers officially in, and Q2 was up from Q1, Khan stated. So 2 straight quarters on both TBS with Wednesday Night Dynamite and TNT for Saturday Night Collision. The ratings have been going up each quarter." He credited the company's new simulcast deal with the Max streaming service as a major factor in their expanded reach. Quote, "In Q1, not only did we become one of the top streaming shows on Max, but our audience on TBS actually got bigger," he explained. When you factor in the additional fans watching on streaming, on the simulcast, it's just going fantastic for us. This sustained growth led Khan to declare that the company is currently better than it's ever been. Quote, "I actually think it's better than it's ever been," he said. "For many years when we started up, we had great pay-per-views and we had 2 great hours of TV every Wednesday night, and now we're delivering something very different. Twice as much TV every week. It's a hard thing to do, and it's something that here in 2025, I think we've done a great job on." He also touted the massive success of the upcoming All In Texas pay-per-view in a separate interview of TMZ Sports when he confirmed the Livegate event. This was a few days ago, has already surpassed a major milestone, saying, quote, "We've sold over $2.5 million in tickets. It's going to be over $3 million in tickets for the first time ever in the United States. We've never even done $2 million before in the US, so we're hitting a bunch of cool milestones with this as a business." Now, in terms of how long the show is going to be going on, well, it appears that AEW All In 2025 won't be a bumper pay-per-view from All Elite Wrestling, and the event looks set to have a similar runtime to the promotion's recent efforts on pay-per-view. Now, according to Fightful Select, AEW All In Texas is scheduled to end well before WWE Saturday Night's main event goes on the air 8 p.m. Eastern. The main card of AEW All In is set to begin at 3 p.m. Eastern, which suggests the show will be well under 5 hours. AEW's pay-per-views have traditionally had a runtime of 4 hours, but the promotion's efforts in 2025 have often run longer, including Dynasty, which clocked in at 4 hours 23 minutes, and Double or Nothing, which went off the air after 4 hours and 30 minutes. It emerged earlier this year that the overwhelming feeling within All Elite Wrestling was the promotion's pay-per-views were too long. AEW All In 2025 is reportedly set to have fewer matches than the 2023 and 2024 editions of AEW's biggest show of the year. In terms of who's in town for AEW All In week, well, with Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor airing on Friday and AEW All In on Saturday, this has led to natural inquisition on potential cameos. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Sting, Bryan Danielson, Ric Flair, Jake Roberts, Big Boom AJ, and Big Justice, Paul White, and other AEW contracted talents will be in town and doing signings, as well as some working the event. A number of inactive legends like Kevin Von Erich, Dory Funk Jr., John Layfield, Mark Henry, Tito Santana will also be working StarCast. Monty Brown is also making his first public appearance for a signing in 15 years. More active performers that will be in town signing and wrestling include Alayna Black, the former Cora Jade, Matt Cardona, Priscilla Kelly, Shotzi Blackheart is working GCW, but it's hard to say if AEW would clear her for contact with a broken arm. Hechicero and Blue Panther are also confirmed. Ricky Morton, KJ Orso, formerly Fuego del Sol, are also working GCW, as is Ninja Mac, who went viral earlier this year. The Inspiration, Indy Hartwell, Master Slamvich, and Brian Myers, and some other TNA associated talent are also in town, but are unlikely to appear on Ring of Honor / AEW as a result of their TNA Wrestling deals. Now, as far as counter-programming for All In Texas, well, it looks like WWE's strategy to counter-program AEW shows is set to continue post-All In. Of course, WWE have taken steps to run counter-programming against All Elite Wrestling since Tony Khan's promotion was founded in 2019, and their efforts have increased over the past several months. These efforts will reach their zenith this coming weekend as NXT Great American Bash, and Saturday night's main event will take place on the same day as AEW All In Texas, while WWE Evolution is scheduled for Sunday, July 13th. The reception to WWE's counter-programming has been less than positive, but this reportedly hasn't deterred WWE from pressing ahead with running shows against All Elite Wrestling in the future. Brian Alvarez reported on Wrestling Observer Live. He said, quote, "I was told that, like, if you think that WWE learned something, or maybe they decided, no, we've got more coming, so at any time you're going to hear about the next WWE counter-programming attempt. We'll be hearing about that fairly soon," Alvarez said. It was noted in late May that WWE planned to run counter-programming against All Elite Wrestling at least 2 more times in 2025. Tony Khan addressed the counter-programming tactics from WWE ahead of All In, noting that he was simply focused on AEW. Now, speaking of Tony Khan, he's opened up on the AEW status of former AEW Women's World Champion Britt Baker. Much has been made of Britt Baker's current absence from AEW, with recent reports stating she's looking to secure her release from the company. Fightful Select shot down these rumors, with sources vehemently denying the claims about Baker trying to exit the promotion. During the AEW All In Texas media call, AEW President Tony Khan said he's never had a conversation about Baker leaving AEW, noting that he isn't able to feature select wrestlers from time to time. Here's what Tony Khan had to say.
As always, looking forward to the show this weekend, particularly the Women's Casino Gauntlet. I was there for the first one in Cincinnati earlier this year. Excited for the sequel. I know Ella already asked about some surprises. Perhaps Dr. Britt Baker could be one of them. Not asking you to spoil anything, obviously, but I was hoping you'd be able to clear some things up in regards to her. There have been some conflicting reports about her over the past week. Some say she's actively seeking her release from the company. Others vehemently denying that that is the case. Have there ever been any conversations about Britt wanting to depart AEW, and do you expect to have her back on television in the future?
I've never had a conversation about Britt departing AEW. I like Britt a lot, and I think one thing we've done really well with AEW is build a tight, focused show around a really strong roster, and it's been very consistent. And I think we've really had a very, very good year of pay-per-view and TV. And absolutely, there are some people that have not been featured, that we have a great group of wrestlers that have not necessarily been on the show a lot, or even in some cases 2025, that are very talented, and we would like to work back in when the opportunity presents itself. On a baseball team, you use 9 players at a time. In the NFL, you can put 11 in at a time and rotate across the snaps, but on each play, you're only using 11 players. NBA or college basketball, it's 5-on-5. Pro wrestling, it's unique because you can use a different number of people, but still only so many slots you can fit into a show. And I think we've done a great job using a lot of the roster this year. We haven't used everybody. And there are some really talented people on our bench that we can call in that could be a great part of the show. And I absolutely think that applies to a number of women and men that are not necessarily being featured right now, but we could bring in that would be a great focus on the show as those spots open up and the timing is right to integrate different people into the show, just like you make substitutions in a sports team. But I think one thing we've done very well this year is not try to force everybody on the show every week. And I think what we have had is really well-paced, excellent wrestling television shows week in, week out with a really focused crew. So I do really want to continue that. But I think Britt's a great example of somebody that's very, very talented, and we could utilize in AEW in the right situation at the right time. And just like in pro sports, when you have some really talented people that aren't necessarily starting every game at that point, doesn't mean they won't be starting in the future. If that makes sense, I think it makes sense for me to look at the AEW roster like a sports team and trying to manage the minutes, but also the rotation. And we've done a really good job with the people we're focusing on right now, but that doesn't mean we can't focus on other people or rotate different people into the show going forward. Thanks for asking.
Now let's talk about TNA Wrestling and an upcoming media rights deal. TNA Wrestling is hoping to secure a new media rights deal that would allow them to go live 52 weeks a year. Anthem Sports Group President Carlos Silva spoke to JohnWallStreet.com about his plans to grow the promotion as it receives increased exposure from its partnership with WWE. Silva said, quote, "We are regularly being featured on every major WWE and NXT platform, PLEs as well as weekly programming on the CW and the other broadcast outlets like Peacock," Silva said. "This has resulted in a huge television audience lift for us, along with all the social media support we get from them." Now, Silva believes $10 million per year is in the range they are targeting. He also said a new media rights deal for TNA would, quote, "provide us the opportunity to go live 52 weeks a year. And in today's world, live matters. Usually when we are live, we're doing around 100,000 household viewers," he continued. "A weekly number between 250,000 and 500,000 in terms of Nielsen-esque P2 plus households is perfectly realistic on a network in 40 or 50 million homes. So something in the $10 million a year range is where we think we should be. We're talking to all the established linear guys and a couple of newer platforms that need a foundational programming centerpiece." Now, in December, TNA announced a new media rights deal in Canada with Sportsnet, which was set to lose its wrestling programming in the following month as WWE content moved to Netflix. Other international media rights deals left open by WWE's move to Netflix included Fox Sports Mexico, which announced a deal with AEW in October. Dave Meltzer addressed the situation in January on Wrestling Observer Radio, stating that WWE is hoping TNA will fill the vacant media rights spot since the deal with Netflix means they are unable to. He also noted that people close to the situation believe WWE will end up owning TNA Wrestling at some point. TNA is running the UBS Arena on Long Island in New York on July 20th for its annual Slammiversary show. Now let's talk about Monday Night Raw on Netflix because there's some record low numbers for WWE on the streaming platform. The Monday, June 30th episode of WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix brought in 2.5 million global views and 4.6 million global hours viewed through its first 7 days, according to their weekly Tudum report. Both the global views and global hours viewed are all-time lows since moving to Netflix, but the show aired live at 6 p.m. Eastern instead of its usual 8 p.m. Eastern start time. When compared to the first 7 days for the June 23rd Raw, the global view numbers were down from 2.6 million, as were global hours viewed down from 5.2 million. The listed runtime of 1 hour 48 minutes was slightly down from the previous week's 1 hour 52 minutes. It was fifth for the week globally and hit the top 10 in 11 countries worldwide, including the US, United Kingdom, India, Canada, and Mexico. Now let's go over to Real American Freestyle here because it looks like it's struggling to move tickets for its first ever show. While the event is still several weeks away, ticket sales have been anything but positive for Real American Freestyle's first ever show. The RAF event is currently planned for the Wallstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio on Saturday, August 30. The venue can hold up to 13,077 fans, but only 457 tickets have been distributed for the Real American Freestyle event since tickets went on sale, WrestleTix has reported. Over the past week, only 47 tickets were distributed, with the cheapest ticket currently priced at $39.60. Real American Freestyle is a new freestyle wrestling league which aims to blend amateur wrestling with elements of professional wrestling. The likes of Wyatt Hendrickson, Aaron Brooks, Kennedy Blades, David Carr, and Sarah Hildebrandt have all signed with the company. Real American Freestyle was launched earlier this year with a short video from Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan reminiscent of their NWO paid announcements that aired on WCW TV. Hulk Hogan is the commissioner of Real American Freestyle, while Eric Bischoff is the league's chief media officer. Talking about Evolution this coming weekend, we know who the ring announcer is going to be for the show. Coming up on July 13th is the second installment of WWE's all-women's premium live event, Evolution. It is taking place at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Ring announcer Lillian Garcia confirmed via Instagram that she's going to be the announcer for Evolution. She wrote the following, quote, "This is it, WWE Evolution happening this Sunday. I was fortunate enough to be the announcer for the first ever Evolution, so now to be able to announce the second one as well and continue to celebrate the progression of where this industry has evolved alongside these incredible women is such an honor. It all starts with hard work for all of us. We dedicate hours to our craft. It's not easy, but it is definitely worth it. See you Saturday for Saturday night's main event, and then Sunday for Evolution, one hot weekend in Hotlanta, Georgia." Now, Garcia announces for the Saturday night's main event programs. The next Saturday night's main event is the night before Evolution and is being headlined by Goldberg's final match. He'll be challenging Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, speaking of Evolution, a bit of an update here when it comes to Nikki Bella and just how long she's back in WWE for. Nikki Bella is set to compete in the Battle Royal at WWE Evolution. Of course, the winner of the Battle Royal will challenge for a Women's Championship at WWE Clash in Paris later on in August. It looked like Nikki was setting up with a match with Liv Morgan, but Morgan was injured on the June 16th episode of WWE Raw. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Nikki was asked about competing in the Battle Royal. She said, quote, "I'm so excited for Evolution. It brings me back to the first one. It was such a different energy being backstage and being all women and the whole show being about women. It's unexplainable. I'm so fired up for this weekend. Everyone is going to crush it and everything is coming together so great. Everyone who is going to be there is in for such a treat. I'm so excited to be part of the Battle Royal. I want that big moment, to have such a big moment. I really want to win because it's the perfect way to start a big comeback. A comeback that is not just here for a month or two, it's here for a while. Sometimes things work in funny ways, and the Liv story, maybe that would have been it. Now the Battle Royal opens up a whole new beginning of things," she said. Now, Shayna Baszler possibly is already back in the WWE fold. Shayna Baszler may have returned to WWE only a couple of months after she was let go by the organization. WWE aired the latest edition of NXT television on Tuesday, July 8th, and one of the matches on the show saw Kalani Jordan defeat Lainey Reed after 4 minutes. According to Corey Haves of Bodyslam.net, Shayna Baszler was listed as a backstage producer for the singles match alongside Oney Lorcan. Newer backstage agents often shadow another producer to see if they would be a good fit for the role, so this may have been why Baszler was listed as a producer for the match. Following a career in MMA and a stint in wrestling on the Indies, Shayna Baszler signed with WWE in 2017. She became a 2-time NXT Women's Champion and a 3-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion prior to her release from the company in May of this year. Baszler was let go as part of talent cuts, which include the likes of Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, and Cora Jade. The 44-year-old is still tied to her 90-day non-compete clause. We got the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown. Of course, this was taped and aired on the 4th of July. With WWE Night of Champions firmly in the rearview mirror, the July 4th episode of SmackDown was not only the first 2-hour episode of WWE's Blue brand in over 6 months, a move that will be permanent moving forward, but it was one that took major steps towards both Saturday night's main event and Evolution 2 on July 12th and 13th respectively. Drew McIntyre returned to set up a match with Randy Orton. Trish Stratus also returned to challenge Tiffany Stratton to a title match at Evolution, and both Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu got the better of JC Mateo and Solo Sikoa in the main event. With all that said, due to it being a national holiday on the 4th of July, not a lot of people were sitting in front of their TVs watching SmackDown. In fact, the Programming Insider has confirmed that the July 4th episode averaged a total of 1.166 million viewers, a 20% drop from both the 1.450 million viewers from the June 27th episode and the trailing 4-week average of the same figure. This is also the lowest viewership for a non-preempted SmackDown in history, with only the December 29, 2023 Best Of episode coming close. But this drop was to be expected, as both Raw and NXT saw major drops in viewership when they aired on the 4th of July in 2022 and 2023 respectively. In the 18 to 49 demographic, the July 4 episode posted a 0.32 number, a 22% drop from the 0.41 that was posted a week earlier, and 20% lower than the trailing 4-week average of a 0.40. While this was the lowest number posted in the demographic since the aforementioned December 29, 2023 episode, it wasn't all bad for SmackDown, as the lack of competition meant the show easily strolled into the top spot for the night on cable in the 18 to 49 demographic, and third for the night when including network telecasts, only being beaten by the Macy's 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular, which aired on NBC. A bit of an update here when it comes to video games for All Elite Wrestling. AEW's first foray into video games was hardly a smash success, but it seems the promotion has not given up hope of releasing future titles. After years of hype, AEW Fight Forever flopped with a lack of extra features and limited replayability, two of the main criticisms of the title. Some have pointed out there is a good game at the core of Fight Forever, but it would be surprised if AEW built upon it for future releases. However, it seems that AEW's games division is not dead in the water, with Insider Gaming's Mike Straw on X noting that talks have picked up more about on the AEW Games front. However, the company have seemingly learned from past mistakes and will not be announcing anything way ahead of time like they did with the announcement of Fight Forever. Straw suggested that nothing has been set in stone as to what AEW's next video games release could be, but noted that when a new game or an update is announced, that news will be revealed later and closer to the planned release date. Adam Cole has opened up on his TNT Championship reign so far, and he said he's proud of what he's achieved. At AEW Dynasty, Cole was able to defeat Daniel Garcia to win the TNT Championship, giving him his first singles title win since signing with AEW back in 2021. Since then, Cole has defended the title against the likes of Claudio Castagnoli, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander. At AEW All in Texas, Fletcher will challenge for the belt once more. In a new interview with Righteous Reg and Phil Lindsay of Fightful's Grapsody podcast, Cole was asked to put a grade on his reign with the title so far. He said, quote, "I'm very proud of the defenses that I've had, whether it was against Josh Alexander, Claudio, the Kyle match that didn't end the way I wanted it to and ended in a disqualification. But as far as me holding on to this championship, being proud of this championship, and looking into the future of all the title defenses I want to have, I'm giving myself an A. I take full pride in being champion. I'm not focused on anything else right now except for being TNT champion. I'm thinking about my boys in the Paragon as well, but as far as championship gold, I'm just focused on that. We're in the process, and this thing is just getting kick-started. After I beat Kyle, I'm going to focus on my next challenger, whether it's other members of the Don Callis family or people I'm not even thinking of. I'm ready to defend this title against anyone and everyone." Now, Cody Rhodes, this was quite a cryptic tweet. Now, Cody Rhodes has fans questioning what's going on with him after a cryptic post to X on Tuesday evening. Rhodes took to the platform to express his gratitude to his fans for riding with him ahead of his undisputed WWE Championship match against John Cena at SummerSlam. Rhodes earned the match after defeating Randy Orton to become King of the Ring. He said, quote, "Don't flinch. Thank you all for riding with me all this time. Love you for it," Rhodes posted, excited for what we do next. Now, Rhodes gave no other indication of whether his post was about anything deeper than just gratitude. As of this recording, no reports have indicated that Rhodes is injured. His last match was against Orton in the King of the Ring finals in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions on June 28th. And finally, a departure from WWE in the term of long-time veteran announcer Scott Stanford. One of WWE's most long-tenured on-air personalities is departing the company. Scott Stanford, who first joined WWE in 2009, announced that his run with the promotion has come to an end. He has hosted various programming for WWE over the past 15 years and is best known as the longtime host of the WWE Network/Peacock series This Week in WWE. While announcing his departure, Stanford did not give a reason for his exit, but said he has nothing but love for WWE and hopes to make it back to the company someday. Stanford has decades of experience as a news and sports anchor in New York City, in addition to his WWE work. Earlier in his WWE run, Stanford did commentary for the now defunct show WWE Superstars. Stanford and Megan Morant were the host of This Week in WWE prior to Stanford's exit from the company. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, we're just 30 subscribers away from 23,100. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe as we get closer and closer to our goal of 25k in 2025. I appreciate everyone for tuning in as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.